Alright, what's up everybody? This is Beazley. We got Maddie.
Why'd you point at me when you said Beazley?
Oh,
this is Beazley.
It's been a long day.
Yeah, my brain's dead. Okay, so we've just finished watching the Microsoft E3 2017 press conference. Whole heap of stuff was announced, so that's what we're going to cover. Okay, Sean looks excited. So my brain's dead. Like
I was going to say, Sean doesn't look excited.
This is what they showcase.
In 4K.
I am the X-Bone.
So, that seems really, really loud.
That's fine.
Okay, alright. So yeah, I wrote notes. So we're just gonna go through the press conference. If there's anything you want to talk about, we can, and if there's not, we'll just skip over it.
Yeah.
So they've obviously announced the actual name for the console after it being called Scorpio for so long. So it's the Xbox One X.
Not the Xbox One S.
You do realize that, like, when
X.
if you abbreviate it as XBOX, so literally it's just Xbox again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the logo for the S with the little line through it came out recently, so people assumed, oh, it's going to be called Xbox One S for like Scorpio, and then it ended up being the new logo for the Slim. So
it's the Xbox.
Oh yeah, they did recently trademark the S, didn't they? S. It's like an S with a broken line.
Yeah, with the little
weird.
Yeah, broken up, which had the X has that broken bit in it as well.
So they've announced it's going to come out November the 7th of this year, which is not really that far away. Then they decided to showcase, which I'm glad they got that out the way, was Forza 7.
Yeah, they did all the specky stuff and then...
Okay. I'll quickly mention the specs, and we're not going to go over that because we've heard so much about it.
Yeah.
So 6 teraflop GPU, 12 gigabyte DDR5 RAM. God, I'm having trouble with my handwriting. 326 gigabyte memory, and obviously the 4K resolution. True.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah,
you know,
that's exciting.
That's been their sales pitch, you know. Teraflops.
Before we get in too far, like the hype video at the start was pretty good. Like,
yeah, I really liked it, like original Xbox, like low resolution, it kept getting bigger. I thought that was really cool.
It was very cool. Like
it was done well.
It was good hype video.
It was like how Sony go into their press conferences not with somebody talking, but with this awesome video.
Exactly, like to get your hype. It was a good hype video.
So yeah, as I said, Forza 7 has been announced. No date for that.
Yeah,
it's your typical Forza game. You know?
Yeah, I mean it looks cool, and I'm sure people that like Forza will like it, but I liked the look of Forza Horizon 3 because of that open world. So this being like just normal Forza.
Well, this is linear racing. Like
I think another thing is obviously because I'm pretty sure like Gran Turismo is going to have a big part of Sony's this year. So I feel like
Gran Turismo Sport will be like
motorsport in there as a big thing.
They'll probably end up going pretty closely head to head.
So Phil Spencer made a big deal about the fact that it was 42 games total they were going to showcase. 22
the entire Xbox One library.
22 of those were Xbox exclusive. I don't know whether that. Yeah, I was going to say, as we discussed when we were.
It was exclusive in the hey, we're Xbox and this is exclusive. We mean exclusive for real.
They're not very good, as Matt pointed out during the conference, of being very specific on whether it's like timed exclusive or it's actually exclusive. So time will tell with some of those. But at the moment, So next thing they showcased was Metro Exodus.
Right.
That was a really fucking pretty.
That looked really good.
Surprisingly good.
Didn't give us a date for that one. I don't think. No.
This
is the first time they showcased anything on it, isn't it?
Yeah.
It was announced.
Because it's been a long time since the original 2 came out.
Yeah. So and like considering they were like made by a small company to start off with, like it's pretty impressive how far they've come.
There was a trend of that. Like even with this E3, there's a trend of like the original game being being developed by a small company, and then like their sequels are like massively expanded.
Yeah, it's because they sell lots of things. Make lots of money.
It's good. It just shows that there is potential for these small companies to actually make it big, which is cool. That's really cool.
When you make money, you can do better things.
Yeah, but it doesn't always. I was gonna say it doesn't always work that way, but it just seems.
Somebody says Assassin's Creed. No, I'm kidding.
Speaking,
I know.
Smoothly segueing into the Assassin's Creed Origins, which that title had been leaked ages ago.
Yeah, I feel like it was a year or so ago when it was leaked with that piece of artwork.
We still didn't end up managing to find the name of the character, but that's cool.
The main character. Name.
His name is Cleopatra.
So it's set in Egypt, around the time of. Or in the time of Cleopatra. It looked really good. Like,
it looks
visually
good.
Very stunning.
But every Assassin's Creed game has the potential to look good. Like I remember being excited for Assassin's Creed 3. Rip my poor heart.
Yeah, but even things like Unity, like seeing Unity for the first time, like this looks fucking awesome. Yeah, we all bought Unity and
we played it together.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Unity, but
well, it looked like it was built around multiplayer. And then you buy the game, it's a single-player game with, like, little...
A couple co-op missions, and it's like...
Yeah, actually, no, I hadn't thought about that. Now you've mentioned that, yeah.
Like
that's
seeing that original trailer.
I've not played a lot of Assassin's Creed games, and when I seen them announced that way back there, it was like, okay, yeah, I'll play that because it's multiplayer, and it just didn't exist.
I will admit, like, the Origins was good in the fact that it kind of didn't feel like... Because they're like Syndicate and everything like that. Like, Syndicate apparently was pretty good. I haven't played it yet.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
But with Origins, it actually felt more assassiny than anything else. Like, you know, it did have those elements where it was like hand-to-hand combat, but like with Syndicate and stuff, it was like... I still remember the trailer for Syndicate, where he like walks in the bar and he basically sits down and goes, "Hey, who wants to be an assassin?" Whereas this one is just like, it was like, "Hey, I'm just gonna fucking go off and kill people because like that's what assassins do."
Was it Assassin's Creed with the arrow shot through the... when it went...
Yeah. So it looks good.
That was something which I was like, okay, cool feature, but I don't know.
Was that... Yeah, but... Was that a camera thing, or was that an actual... It did just sort of...
I think it's just a weird camera thing, and I assume that in the full game, it probably won't even do that every time you fire your arrow. I don't think it's going to go first person every time and go in like that, because that would be really annoying.
I was going to say, that it'd be cool for key moments, but not...
It might even be... You nailed that shot so perfectly, you're going to get a headshot here, so we'll actually show you. And for every other normal shot, it'll just like...
Yeah.
You'll just shoot it.
Which,
I think it's going to do that like sniper elite thing.
Yeah,
exactly. Like, hey, you did a really cool thing.
Yeah, it was... Like, yeah, I think so. I hope so.
So they've announced that's coming out October the 27th. The next thing they spoke about, which was awesome announcement, was PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds coming to Xbox One. Exclusively. Now...
That was surprising. It doesn't bother me, but like...
I don't think that... I think that's going to be a time thing. I can't see that not going to PlayStation.
I think that... Like, my prediction for this, though, is obviously we haven't seen Sony's yet, but Sony said DayZ ages ago. So,
yeah, so that's what like DayZ, and what was the other one? There was 2 zombie games. DayZ and... Is there another one that's...
H1Z1's actually coming to console. So
is that Days Gone?
I was thinking of like those style of games.
H1Z1's definitely coming to console.
Yeah, there were a couple announced for PlayStation that have just never come out. And I feel like
that's what's going to happen. Like, I think they've got Unknown Battlegrounds, so like because PlayStation's probably just been like, "Hey, DayZ's coming out next week."
Hopefully, I mean that would be cool. The way they announced this, it seems like it is. No, it even says late 2017, so we are going to get it soon. Whereas DayZ was announced so many years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
So like, I don't even know if it is coming. I think they're just gonna.
They're just going to sweep that bad boy under the rug.
I think
so. So the first one where they've said, or next game, Xbox launch exclusive was Deep Rock Galactic.
It looks interesting.
They had to fight a lot of people for that.
It's not the most exciting name for a game, but it looked fun.
It looked decent.
As like a cheap downloadable game, like there could be some fun to playing. It looked like a set in space horde mode.
Yeah.
Type thing. So it looks interesting.
It'll be one of those, like, just multiplayer, kind of like fun games to play with your pals.
Yeah.
Next big announcement, which we were all very excited about, is State of Decay 2.
Yeah, boy!
Yeah. We came for it.
Spring 2018. What's that? That's over there, so what's that here? Autumn. So that would be April, May, June-ish.
Okay.
Yeah, like, it's still a year away. Like,
no.
I'm not gonna...
Yeah.
March, April, May. Yeah, so it'd be... Yeah.
So less than a year.
This is supposed to be stealthy, but Kyle is in the middle of the fucking screen at the moment.
That was brilliant.
Riku
just watching you.
I just want to say, anyone who's saying that it looks like a bad PS2 game can get fucked. Like, it's made by a small company. Like, what more can you expect?
But
yeah, but that wasn't the one that looked like a bad PS2 game.
Yeah,
one of them, like a lot of people on Twitter at the moment. Like, I've been scrolling through all morning, and people are just saying, "Oh, look, this looks like shit. What is this fucking sad Decay crap?"
I mean,
I'm like, okay,
I'm not. There's some games that the graphics aren't the key.
Yeah, dude.
It's the gameplay.
Well, there are things where like a game can still look nice even though it graphically isn't amazing. Like Life is Strange isn't that looks fucking impressive graphically, but it's stylized in a way that's really pretty.
Yeah.
State of Decay, even though it wasn't the most amazing looking game, it still looked really pretty. There were moments where you're walking through the forest and that lighting is just perfect, where it shines through all the trees and like the colors that they use. Like the game looks really nice.
The thing is, like with zombies and stuff, like they're not supposed to look like if they're going to be generating that many zombies on screen at a time, like they're not going to look the best. And like again, like I said, Undead Labs isn't a massive like I think it's like what 15 people or something working the company.
Yeah, I assume it's grown a lot for the sequel. It's still not like it's not a Halo. It's like Call of Duty.
Exactly. Like but I'm super pumped, and it's like it's like I said, graphics aren't that important. Like you don't watch porn for the storyline.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's nice to finally see gameplay because a year ago we saw like a cinematic trailer and they've not really said anything since. Yeah. So it was nice to see it. It wasn't, I guess, the most exciting trailer, but for people who played the first State of Decay and for the sequel, like it's awesome. It's the first game with multiplayer, and that's what we wanted to see.
That's it.
Looking forward to it.
Then another Xbox exclusive launch was the Darwin Project.
The Darwin Project.
That was the esports one where the guy where Mr. Baker came out.
That could be alright. Yeah. I know. I'm pretty sure we saw a cinematic trailer for that previously.
I think it was just frightening, just like all of a sudden hearing somebody just screaming at you,
like watching a cinematic trailer and then suddenly he's yelling.
The commentary.
No.
So it looks like an interesting game. The gameplay they showed still didn't fully tell me what it was.
No.
It was like Smite-ish, but then like it almost gave me like a survival feeling. Like the way he was sneaking around in that house.
Hunger Gamesy. That was the kind of first thing that I got from
PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds crossed with Smite.
Yeah, that's basically like I'm feeling that very closely.
So, yeah, I'm interested to see more of that one.
So that's and then we had Minecraft was a bit of an announcement unifying the console, mobile. I've put my hand. That's how console, mobile, console. Console, mobile, PC, and something else.
Console, mobile, PC. No, and VR.
And VR. That's it.
Well, like I was actually pretty impressed.
I want to watch the trailer again. They said console, so it's obviously coming to everything. But the console they specifically showed was Switch.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, but do you think that's a whole like? It's pretty safe to say both Xbox and Sony respect Nintendo and quite often reference them. It's very unusual.
It's also the latest console release of Minecraft. Like it only just came out.
I think it's just one of those. We won't mention Sony.
I mean, it's definitely coming to everything because they said consoles, but it was cool that the one they decided to show was Switch. Because that's like, it's not the most powerful of consoles, but it's nice.
I think as well, like Mojang, know that like Switch has got a lot of potential, and they're like, okay, we need to show the fact this is gonna be.
Well, we've barely had anything shown for Switch at E3 so far. So it was cool to see that. I guess the only other thing they've shown was FIFA.
I was going to say
another random thing, FIFA.
Yeah, I was going to say I don't remember. I only seen the first 3 quarters of the EA press conference, so that's all that we've seen is FIFA and the fact that Minecraft. Yeah,
it'll be interesting to see how they do that. If it will be literally Xbox Live will tie into that, because the way it works on iPhone is it literally has Xbox achievements, your Xbox friends list. That's how you invite people to games. And if that's also going to carry over to Nintendo, that's cool. If I can earn Xbox Live achievements on the Nintendo Switch, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how they handle that. So the other thing they announced was a DLC thing, which the name is awesome.
They didn't specifically say what that's coming to as well.
No.
Super duper graphics pack. Obviously a part of like Xbox One X stuff, but
that looks stunning. That looked really, really cool.
It was kind of nice.
It was like the realistic texture pack that's already available on consoles, but like really amped up, like a new lighting system.
That was the thing which I was happy with. I was like looking at that, and I was like, hey, don't try and like push Minecraft too far with realism. But then I was like, this looks like good.
It's almost what I would expect if they were to do a sequel. It was like, here's new graphics, but like
it was good. It's well done. A game that's already sort of been put out there, and but it was good to see it, I suppose, especially people who like that franchise, Dragon Ball Fighter Z.
Yeah, it looks really nice. It
looks really good.
Like I don't care about Dragon Ball Z at all, but like seeing a cartoon like done that well in video game form.
It looked really cool.
Looked awesome.
Yeah.
Side-on works well for that versus what they've previously done with it.
But like gives it that anime style.
Yeah, and I think that's been some of the biggest flaws of the other games is I don't like that. I like side fighting for that kind of stuff. I think the others are just
I mean, it's what made like the Persona fighting games and the BlazBlue fighting games and stuff look really nice. So.
And the other thing was like it kind of like that little bits opened up that whole like weeb segment of fucking games. So they're like, hey, like let's get all these fucking games out of the way.
Especially for Microsoft to show a little bit more of the Japanese side of games.
It was nice to see that.
There are a couple of others in there that are like more
there was
Japanesey.
No
like Black Desert.
Yeah, Black Desert was early 2018. The Last Night is a launch exclusive.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, that looked awesome.
That was very cool.
That's like the 3D with like the pixelated characters.
That
incredible.
That and Artful
Escape.
Artful Escape. They were both very cool. I love the sass. It's like it's coming when it's ready. Like that at the end of it. I know a lot of people have been like, okay, your game's not pretty enough to give me this kind of sass. I'm like, nah, man, I love that. That gives it character.
It happens occasionally. The main game I remember doing that was Duke Nukem Forever.
Yeah.
Every time they delay it, it's like it'll be out when it's ready. But
yeah, but like at least we know this.
This should be pretty good.
Code Vein coming out 2018.
Code Vein.
That was that sort of like I don't want to say Fire Emblem, but it was that weird sort of. It's hard to explain.
I remember.
They've shown it before. I'm sure they have.
Yeah. Sea of Thieves.
So that's coming out early 2018.
Big gameplay stuff for that. It was nice.
It looks like it's going to be a good game. They're just taking a really long time to.
Yeah, like I signed up for the beta a long time ago, and I've still not been invited in yet.
Yeah.
So hopefully I will be in by the end of the year. Apparently. But
it was very cool. I think, like, again, a lot of people on Twitter and stuff were complaining that there was too much gameplay for it, and I was like, that didn't seem too long for me. Like, they were showing all the different...
It definitely wasn't, like, after watching EA's one yesterday, where it was a solid 20-so minutes of Battlefront gameplay.
Exactly. It's like, have you forgotten about every other, like, Microsoft fucking conference where they've showed FIFA for 20 minutes? Like, nobody cares.
Yeah. It was maybe a little bit too long, but it was fine. At least they were like, there'll be a live stream after this.
And it wasn't just, like, showing, like, a couple different mechanics. It was just like going through and being like, okay, you can swim, you can get this, you can raid caves, you can fight skeletons, you can shoot stuff out of a fucking cannon. Like,
it should be good.
Tacoma coming out August 2nd.
Yeah, that'll be good.
This one nearly gave everyone a heart attack because we all thought it was bloody Conker. Super Lucky's Tale, exclusive apparently, November 2017.
I don't know.
It looks alright.
If the reviews end up being good, then maybe I'll think about it. But based off that trailer, I still would rather play Yooka-Laylee. For all the bad things I've heard about Yooka-Laylee, I'd rather play that than what I saw.
There's a lot of that style, or not, coming out like as
the revival of the
platforming,
platforming adventure games. Yeah.
So it's
plus like we're gonna have Nintendo's conference in a couple of days, and we're gonna get like 40 fucking platformers. So
Cuphead finally got a release date of September the 29th.
So the thing with Cuphead is it's like the 17th fucking time I've seen like a small snippet of Cuphead, and I'm like, man, I'm really pumped for this game.
Fine to begin with, I was never crazy about it, but the more they keep showing it and the more they keep delaying it, it's like the less I care about it.
Yeah.
And apparently, they were saying before the thing that apparently like people were asking for proper levels, not just boss fights. So they did proper levels, and then apparently they weren't very well received. Like when they demoed
so it's
it.
Stop changing your game to fucking make people happy. Like make a good game.
Crackdown 3, they showed a bit of
that.
There's a lot of fucking Terry Crews in that bad boy.
I was gonna say Terry Crews made his.
The very first time they announced the Xbox One, I think they showed Crackdown 3.
Yes.
So it's been a long fucking time.
Because it was kind of like a little bit they showed when they Xbox One, and then last year they had like that big segment on it where they like showed the proper trailer and everything for it. Was it last year?
Year before. I don't think they showed it last year. They did like a technology kind of talk where they're like, we're using Xbox Cloud to like power the destruction in the environment and things like that. It looks really fun. I loved the first Crackdown. The second Crackdown was better than I think people give it credit for.
Yeah.
It's not an amazing game, but it was still pretty good. And yeah, I'm keen for this one.
Yeah, it'll be good.
And that's launching the same day as the Xbox One X.
That's right, November 7th.
So it's a launch title.
And it's cross-platform as well.
Yep.
So a lot of these are, which we haven't mentioned, but yeah, so Crackdown's always had co-op, and it'll be cross-platform between Windows 10 and Xbox One, so I'm looking forward to that.
Old Spice the video
and then they showed a whole heap of just games.
They were like ID and Xbox games, because they've just hit their milestone for however many partners they worked with. And
I'm just going to say Conan Exiles on Xbox One.
Over 500 games on the ID Xbox program.
I think it was City Skylines or something was their, maybe it was their 500th.
Yep.
And then they've had one since then, so that was a milestone they just passed recently.
Yeah, so that was a bit of, that was good.
The gaming montage was good because it just like it showed like a few snippets. It was games that like we kind
that's
of
how they made it, as you said.
And
That's how they made it
stuff
up to
like
42.
stuff they probably showed last year, and it was like, oh yeah, cool, like kind of giving us a refresher, like reminding us of smaller games to look forward to.
And there was other games, like I said, like Conan Exiles is like one of those ones on PC, which like a few people have been getting into now, and they're like, oh hey, this is actually on Xbox One. I'm like, you already know it exists. You already know basically everything about it.
Well, especially for people like us who aren't like Xbox gamers.
Yeah.
Like I play a lot of Xbox games, but not like to the point I do with PlayStation, where I see all the smaller stuff as well. So it was a cool like reminder of there are smaller games on Xbox that we just don't know about because we're not Xbox people.
I did like the comment somebody made like here, and they were like, is like Conan Exiles, is that the game with the dong slider? And I'm like, yeah, it is. Can't wait for that 4K penis. It'll be great.
After that was Ashen. That's a launch exclusive, apparently.
Ashen,
that was the...
I remember liking the look of it.
That was the one that was like, it kind of looked like Dark Souls-y but cartoony.
Yeah.
Where it had like the spider that fell on top of that guy and when they walked into the tomb.
And those weird walking sort of...
That was cool.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
That game was cool. That like, it looks like it'll be...
The characters with no eyes. Yeah, that looks awesome.
And now we're gonna hand it over to Matty.
Life is strange.
He really shat himself while we were watching it. Like he was, you know.
Yeah,
if he could get any closer to the TV, he was like.
I think my reaction would have been very different if it hadn't been leaked last week.
Yeah.
Like if that was just holy shit. Like I would have. Oh my god! Yes,
it was great though because like you were so involved in it and like you were so excited, and I was like super excited for you because like we're finally finishing the fucking first game with Matt now.
Yeah, like
we've been waiting for ages. But then like when like the other people we were watching it with, like they started talking through the trailer, and Matt was just like, it was excitement, but then like you could also see the fire burning in his eyes.
It was one of those things like there was talking throughout the thing anyway. We were all talking, you know. Quips here and there, whatever. But that one was the most like ratio of talking to necessity of talking. Like there should have been no talking through that.
I was getting really pissed off. Like
not a single word should have been spoken because I just want to hear. Like not even that. I don't think there was even any dialogue in the trailer, but just taking it in and listening to that music. So I went upstairs and watched it again after the thing, and they've put up like a 5-minute kind of behind the scenes making of. So all the leaked stuff was true. A lot of the concept art that was leaked was kind of seen around in this making of thing. It is Deck 9, who were previously Idle Minds, so they've done a lot of like PlayStation ports and stuff, and now they've been given the reign to do a prequel to the series. So,
how pumped would you be if like Sony's fucking conference they just announced a sequel at the same time? I don't know. I'm doubtful, and I don't want to hold my hopes higher, but like. Because obviously two different developers, because the guys who made the first game are obviously making the sequel.
Yeah, so some of the writers are there and they've got the voice actors back, but outside of that, it's a whole
Can you imagine getting both? Like, it would be like, okay, here's your fucking like prequel, and then like straight after we've released the third episode, here's your second.
So yeah, it's 3 episodes. First one comes out August 31st. I was thinking like when the last episode comes out, which maybe will be this year, maybe it will be early next year.
Yeah.
It can take, you know, sometimes a month or two to get an episode out. Like how long it might be before you actually get a season 2.
Yeah.
Because don't nod fully into what is it, vampire or vampire, however.
Yeah.
So like I don't know when we could see a sequel, but the prequel will tie me over quite a bit, and I'll play that like 10 times over.
I'm very pumped.
So
very cool.
I'm keen. Maybe we'll actually do a let's play on that one, since it'll be like a new
a
new thing. So
it'll be fresh for everybody.
I love the fact they wrote like. No, you can't see it.
You can't see it.
No, I'm not getting up. I wrote Matt shat himself. Is an important note.
And it's soon. It's very soon.
That was not a shock as such, but that's very close. Like everything they've announced here, there's only a handful of things that are coming out in the next, say, 3 months.
Yeah, it's like October, November, stuff like that. I think this was the earliest.
No, Tacoma was August the 2nd.
Yeah. So August is the soonest we're getting stuff.
September, but outside that was October, November. Middle-earth Shadow of War was shown.
Featuring
looks
Bruce.
good.
It looks alright.
The first one was awesome. And the first one was one of those surprisingly awesome games.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like I love Lord of the Rings, and
helped. It was close to launch of next gen. Yeah. Like I love Lord of the Rings. I'm not sure if I would have jumped into it as quickly if it had launched now versus back when it did. Like, I picked up a lot of games back then just because I wanted games.
Yeah, exactly.
But played it and I'm like, waning on Assassin's Creed, like, this was such a revival for that kind of game.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was just, it was
because
so
that was
good,
as the descent for Assassin's Creed kind of happened.
Yeah.
And then this came out, and we're like, oh man, what
can still be
Creed
done
games
properly
like this? Like, Jesus.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to the sequel. I'm not crazy excited about it, but
it'll be fun to play, but it's not one of those ones which is like, I want to get it on.
Yeah, it's not like
just
hype. I can't wait. But
exactly. Like, there are people
when it
who
comes
are like
out,
that.
I'm looking
Like,
forward to it.
you know, we're watching.
Kyle's one.
Yeah.
Kyle's definitely one.
Yeah, I loved the first one so much, and I'm looking forward to the sequel. But the sequel looks like more of the same.
Yeah.
And it's not one of those things where I didn't like the story. Wasn't amazing. Like, I didn't care about the characters or the story in that game. It was just that the gameplay and the encounters and stuff was so
Bruce
good,
or whatever the fuck his name was. Like, let's be honest, we need some more Aussie accents in our Middle Earth games.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. It's not far away either.
Yeah,
October
10th. Yeah, so that's not that far. Now, I think I wrote the title down right. They then spoke about Ori, the second game. So it was Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Will of Wisps?
Or was it
Will of the
I think.
Wisps.
Yeah, it might have been Will of the Wisps.
Will or Willow?
I saw it like just before.
It just briefly appeared on the screen. I'm going, yep, and then I looked back and it was gone. I'm like, oh god.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
That game or the first game and this game, they look stunning. Like they're very just pretty games.
I still haven't played the first one. I've been meaning to, so maybe
while Sean's looking that up, they did go into a bit of detail about Xbox backwards compatibility stuff. There's currently 385 titles, which is quite a significant library. They also announced Xbox original games, which was that got probably one of the loudest reactions.
Yeah.
That was very cool.
And the original Xbox is my favorite Xbox console.
There's some great games on there.
I'm not sure if it's Phil Spencer or Aaron Greenberg or something like that has had the original Xbox logo as their Twitter profile pic for a couple of months now or something. Yeah. I'm just like, please announce something to do with the original Xbox. Yeah. Like, I love that console so much. And they didn't say whether we can use our original discs, but if we can, that's awesome.
They mentioned Crimson Skies.
Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
It is the Will of the Wisps.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, looking forward to that. I should play the first one.
And they're doing 4K updates for 5 games. Was that correct? It was.
Yeah, and there were quite a few, but the main ones they showed were like
Final Fantasy, Resident Evil 7, Ghost Recon, Rocket League, and Minecraft.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, like Resident Evil 7, that's an interesting one because obviously, like VR. I think PlayStation obviously had a bigger market in Resident Evil 7 because, like, you know, you could play it non-VR or VR.
Yeah.
And like that was kind of like, okay, cool. But now because they've added 4K to it, like, and maybe that will give people more incentive.
I don't know if I want to see Jack in any more 4K.
The Resident Evil on Xbox also had timed exclusive on DLC, and I don't think that was a huge push for people to buy it on Xbox.
No. Yeah.
But it's interesting that they're going back and updating some a little bit older games, I guess.
Yeah.
For when the PS4 Pro came out, Shadow of Mordor got patched for PS4 Pro support. That was a really old game.
Yeah,
so
which
that
is
was
very
surprising.
interesting. Like, yeah.
So they've picked some good ones to go back and update. Rocket League's cool.
Yeah. I wrote Rocket League.
Rocket League's one of those ones where it's like, I feel like Rocket League's got a lot going for it. Because obviously that's becoming one of those big esports kind of games now.
Yeah, and that's a really small team, and they went from like DLC support for however many months after launch, whatever, to like just like indefinitely, as long as people keep buying and keep supporting the game, and
then they'll keep making stuff.
The playability of that game's awesome.
Yeah, it's blew up. So it's really fun. I should play it more. We should all play it more.
Rocket League, let's play it.
We should. Like, it's such a fun game, and we've only played it once or twice. So.
Yeah,
we'll work on that. Yeah. I like the fact that they announced the price. US will be $4.99. I like the fact they kind of went, here's the price, and then just moved on.
Yeah.
I don't think, because if they'd made a big deal of it, it would have been this shock factor of, because there was a few people like, oh, it's expensive. It is, but it's still not in the realm of like when the PS3 came out. Like that was, I mean, I don't know what's that going to be here, $6.99 or something like that.
It looks like it'll be $6.49 or $6.99 somewhere in that ballpark.
I mean, when that came out, it was $1,000 the PS3, so it's like.
It looks like a good console, but just like the PS4 Pro, I won't see the point in upgrading until my Xbox One dies.
Yeah.
And I don't think if you're a crazy Xbox gamer, should you go out and buy the Xbox. Like, if you're going to buy an Xbox One at some point, obviously you'd just get the S.
Yeah,
like, it's what are they? $2.99 at the moment.
Something
However
like that,
cheap they are,
which is
So,
a real good price.
less than half
the
the price
the
of the
only
Pro.
reason which anyone would want, like, I can see anyone wanting to do that is like, hey, I really want to get an Xbox, but it's like, I also really want to get a PC. Might as well get an Xbox One, get the fucking fancy one, pay an extra few dollars, and I can just play all my fucking games with my PC friends.
But see, like, for me, it was like, I was really excited after they did the Xbox One announcement, I think it was, and I'm like, it's funny, a tweet came up from a couple of years ago or something that I put up there, and I was like, oh, they've convinced me to get one. I still haven't bought one. So
And
like,
now you've got a PC, there's no need to. Like, all of these games are coming out on PC.
Yeah, so it's like, you know.
And I can play it on my Xbox and we can play together. So.
Yeah, so it's one of those moments I'm like, you know.
You've got a 4K.
So, and the final thing I spoke about, which we got, they had announced that. When did that? EA,
they said they would show it. Because they showed a teaser at EA's, and then we got to the gameplay, which was just stunning.
It was awesome. So
it was a real pretty looking game.
And that's coming out. They've just said 2018.
Yeah, looking forward to it. They've moved on from Mass Effect and are trying something new. New IP is always nice. So.
But yeah, no, they showed quite a bit of gameplay for that, and that looked really, really good. So it'll be interesting to see a bit more after that.
I did like the don't have to do face animations. that was pretty great. Like
the even the way like players just drop in for the co-op.
Yeah,
looks
that's
really
cool.
That's cool. So it looks like a fine single player game with the option to just have friends join you and
I'm most interested to see if it stands up as a Destiny contender, because it does kind of give that Destiny feel to it.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, they didn't really say what type of game it's going to be. If it's going to be like a Division or Destiny, more like
them saying about like you're a freelancer going off, it's like it kind of seems like it's got that kind of a raids mechanic to it.
Yeah, it could go one way or the other. It's either going to be just like Mass Effect, like a strictly like this is the experience and that's it, or if it's going to push more to like a platform that they build upon. Who knows? They really didn't say much.
It'll be interesting to see how it progresses. That's still a fair way away. So like they've still got so much to put onto it. Like
yeah.
But,
so overall, what do you think? How was Xbox showing this year? Like,
definitely. I don't know if it was their best one so far.
It was
this year and last year, last year they had a really good one as well, much better than the previous years. But yeah, this was really good. It was really long, but I didn't notice.
Yeah, like that was the thing. Like, I think the thing is, like, this was probably one of their most consistent E3s they've done. Like, the hype at the start was good, and then like they just kept like it wasn't like they
doing
kept the hype going,
trailer, and then a little bit.
That's how E3 conferences should be. It should be like, hey, he said let's do 42 games, and I was like, all right, here's fucking 4 montages in a row.
I mean,
and then it was like, okay, here's a little snippet of this, here's a snippet of that.
Exactly, it was that short, sharp, punchy, just one thing, without sitting on something for too long and just showing too much.
Yeah, they almost never had somebody come out and talk about it, which I don't mind when they do, but it's when they drag on and when it's at the start of everything that it really drags. It also
depends on the person talking, because sometimes that's like, oh, they're not interesting me, they're too distractive, they're too...
And sometimes it's fine to have somebody talking over the video. We don't need to watch them stand there talking and then show the gameplay.
There was odd moments where you said, oh, you could hear someone talking, but you weren't sure if that was someone talking on stage, but it blended naturally into what was happening, as opposed to being this distraction in the corner.
So like with the narration stuff, like Sea of Thieves was a good one, because like last year when they did Sea of Thieves, it was just some boring monotone voice. But they're like, hey, let's get this Scottish guy in, and he's going to talk in like a pirate accent. It would say weird shit. Like that was cool.
And they did it over the game, didn't they?
Yeah, they did that over the game, and then like
so that was good.
The one that you're talking about is when Anthem was playing, and it was like supposed to be simulated group chat, but then it was
apparently it was like meant to be players talking to each other. I'm like, I didn't even notice.
No,
it just felt like
it fit, like it wasn't distracting
because they barely ever did it as well. Like it wasn't constant streaming. That was one game. Maybe it was the Division.
Yeah,
seeing one of the Division gameplay, and it was like actors meant to be, and I'm like, this is just not hitting the mark.
No, exactly. It's just like
they did it well.
Yeah, like nobody was burping or singing. It was just,
but overall, I was impressed. It makes me glad I am kind of a little bit in that Xbox like ecosystem.
Yeah, like, and the thing is, it's like I've always like it's always a matter of money when it comes to Xbox.
Oh, definitely.
Like I've always wanted to, and because it is PC oriented as well. Like I mean, I don't have a massive footprint in the PC market either, but like I think that it keeps you more interested in that Microsoft, like, and it's like, hey, you know, if I do, like, it makes me want to eventually get there. It's not like, okay, I'm not missing out on much. It's like, okay, I'm missing out on a little bit. I would like to eventually, like,
well, that's what makes me like it so much, is that I'm really the only person I know that has an Xbox One, but almost everybody I know has a PC.
Yeah.
So it's even cool for people like Curtis, who it's like, you know, all you've got to do is just update your PC and buy these games, and we can play together.
That's one of the smartest business moves that Microsoft made.
It's so good because you don't make money off of consoles, you make them off the games.
Exactly.
Like, people keep saying, oh, people aren't going to buy Xbox Ones. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
Because if you're not going to buy an Xbox One, you can still get the game on a PC.
And they haven't done the Xbox 360 thing, which, like, for a while, the Xbox 360 was like, I got a 360, I play all my games with my friends, you got a PS3, you're a fucking nerd. Whereas it's like, obviously, because now the tables have kind of flipped, because the Xbox 360 was doing better than the PS3 for, like, a while there.
Oh, by the end, they caught up, but it was never that the PS3 was, like... Whereas it's crazy that it ended with them at the same point.
Whereas like now, because obviously like I think the PS4 obviously has that big that big stance in the market. Instead of Xbox being like, here we've got this, so fuck your PS4, they're like, hey, here are your games, like you play with your friends, and like if you want to get an Xbox, that's fine, that's cool.
Yeah.
So much of last gen was, I've got a PS3 or I've got a 360. It's like, well, that sucks. This gen is. I never hear anybody say, oh, sorry, I've got an Xbox One, not a PS4. I never hear that.
Yeah.
But the fact that when an Xbox game does come out, it's like, oh, we've all got computers, obviously.
Exactly. And it's kind of like, and instead of it being like, Xbox 360 gets an exclusive game, I was like, fuck you, PlayStation. It's like, Xbox One gets an exclusive game, and they're like, oh, finally, we've got something to play.
Yeah. Well, that's what like PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, it's like, well, we can all play that anyway. It's not like it being exclusive to Xbox One puts any of us out.
No.
So it's cool.
All right, well, let's wrap this one up. So it's been Beazley, Maddie. I didn't point at you to call you Beazley.
And Sean, Sleepy Sean.
So yeah, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, subscribe to the YouTube channel.
I'll probably be live tweeting a fair lot of the E3 ref from.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Follow us at our tags and.
So that's at Enter Diversion for Twitter. And yeah, so we may cover Bethesda next. It depends. I'm definitely going to cover obviously Sony.
Yeah.
And then Nintendo, which is at some stupid time of the day.
It's also Ubisoft one.
So Ubisoft is tomorrow
morning for us.
Is that before or after Sony?
Before.
No, I thought it was after.
I don't know. If it's before, I'm not getting up that early.
No, I think it's after. I think Sony's the first one off the bat our time.
Well, it is
we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
So yeah, keep your eye out. We'll try and get these videos up as quick as they can. And try and make more sense. But yeah, okay, cool. Cheers.
You make more
sense. Good day.
I make plenty of sense.